Aloha, Dr. Jessica Renfer here. I'm a naturopathic physician and a part of the Women's Wellness Transformation, both as a participant and as a support. So what I thought I would offer is some simple practices over the next few weeks to enhance and support the detoxification and cleansing process. So what I'm going to share today is a castor oil pack and also some ways to upgrade it and make it even more potent. So just an introduction, castor oil I have right here. You always want to try to get organic, and at the very least you want it to be cold pressed and hexane free. So there's this Heritage store, there's a few like standard brands, it should say hexane free on it. You can get it at most health food stores, Whole Foods, and also online. If anyone needs any direction on how to find the supplies, you feel free to leave a message and I can help you out with that. So castor oil, when you take it internally, so don't do that, is a powerful purgative. It can stimulate labor if the baby's ready, and it can also cause like really intense flushing of the digestive tract, which is not something that I'm recommending in this case. But what we're going to talk about using it for is the topical castor oil pack over the liver, the digestive tract, like large intestine, small intestine, and then also women specific, which is great. There's uses for the pelvic area and reproductive organs. So it's very relatively simple, and I'm going to show you the simplified protocol. Traditionally, what you would do is you would take your piece of flannel, and what I do is I order or go to a fabric store and I get bulk cotton, ideally organic, can't always find that, just undyed cotton flannel or wool flannel. But you can also order, they have specific ones that you can order for a kit. So again, the traditional way is to warm up castor oil in a pot, soak the flannel, and then put that on. And I have found that it's very messy, and compliance with my patients tends to go down. So I'm going to teach a sort of modified where you still get a lot of the benefits of it and also a little less mess and a little bit easier to do. So what you do then is I like to use one of these kind of water bottles where I have one of those little electric kettles, and you fill that up, boil the water, fill that up here. Some of them come with a nice like little cozy thing to go over it, which is great. This one didn't, so you just always be careful. It does tend to get pretty hot. Your flannel, and you want it to be, this one's a little small, but I'm kind of small. So the ideal way is to have it to be a few layers. So if you get like a nice yard and then just fold it up over to fit your abdomen, you want it to cover, try to go from up to here, because you want to make sure you're covering the whole liver, which is over here on this right side, and then all the way down to right where the pelvic bone is, like right around here, because then you'll be getting all of the abdomen and detoxification organs that are centered in that area. And then you also want, like I like one of these little just microfiber towels, but again, the traditional way is you would do this and then you would put a piece of plastic wrap over it. And I personally don't like using plastic. So again, this is simplifying it. I do have a PDF that has like the full-on instructions for people who are interested. And so I'll put that in the link as well. Okay, so advantages, or I guess not advantages, but what does it help with? So castor oil is this, magical healing oil. One of the names for it is Palma de Christi, and that is the hands of Christ. And I really do feel like it helps to transmit healing energy, whether that's the medicine of the oil itself and the plant that it comes from, or as an assistant to drive in other medicines such as herbs, essences, even intention, and so at the end, after I've kind of gone over some of like the more physiologic concepts behind the benefits, I'll kind of give a little bit of guidance on how you can sit with and make this a really intentional practice and upgrade it even more. So basically I like to do this either before a nap or before bed is even better, because it's very relaxing, and the body does so much of its healing and detoxification work at night. So by doing this before bed, you're sort of giving your body a little bit of an extra support to really flesh out whatever it is that your body is ready to release. So yeah, warm the water up, fill the water bottle up, get your castor oil. I usually like to put it into a little, pump top, just so I'm not carrying around this huge thing. And I like to start with an abdominal massage. So I get a little bit of the oil in my hands, and I've done this with retreat clients and patients too, going through detoxes. So the abdominal massage part is really nice, even though it's not part of the traditional one. So get, maybe a tablespoon, rub it all over the belly. And then I always like to start at the exit point. If you think about like loosening up the end points so that things can then flow through, rather than say starting and pushing things where there may be an area that is a little resistant to move. So I usually do my hands in that kind of shape and sort of go like this, starting here where you have the sigmoid colon, which then goes into the rectum, and then massage up the descending colon, the transverse colon around this area, and take your time with this, but I'm just showing the directions. The ascending colon, and then slowly go around and then come into the belly button where the small intestine is sort of centered around the belly button. So I do that part, and then you go over to the liver, which again is the right side, and I like to massage a little bit in this area, and also over here where you got your spleen in your stomach, and then where it enters into the small intestine. And there's these points. I refer to them as neurolymphatic points. So there's nerve bundles and also access to lymph nodes and lymph drainage, which is very important to tend to the lymph during a cleansing process. I mean, really always, but especially during this time. So you'll feel like right where the ribs start to curve in, you'll just massage along those, and generally there's some tender points. So just massage them a little bit with the oil, and this really, it's kind of, it does correlate also with some acupuncture points. So, it's the nice thing about integrative health is you find that everything is just a different way of describing similar concepts, which is nice. So massage into there, and then, any points that you find tender is helpful. That, it helps to really activate gallbladder energy, meridians, liver, and just reducing tension overall, because that's one of the things, is one of the important parts in release, in detox, is to just reduce resistance and reduce tension, and then the body can flow and do what it needs to do. So after that, that's, I don't know, five minutes, you can take whatever time you want. And then, additionally, if, as long as you're not about to bleed, I would say, and not during your moon cycle. Again, this is up to you, but castor oil can increase bleeding. So especially if you're a heavy bleeder, I wouldn't recommend doing any castor oil and heat application over the womb during the cycle. Other times during the cycle, you could focus it up here, but just be mindful that it can increase it. The point is that it increases circulation, which then can increase bleeding. Okay, so again, that you've done the massage part, and then I take a good quantity of it. So you're thinking like a quarter cup is kind of the volume, but you want it to really be a thick layer all over. Castor oil does stain, so maybe put a towel underneath you if you're concerned about that, and wear clothes that you're not super attached to looking perfect. So yes, so pour that all over, and then usually what I'll do is, depending on what area I'm focusing, you will pour the oil over that part. So to start, always just start with the liver. That's their livers need a lot of love in this world that we live in. And when you're cleansing, they're doing a lot of work for you. The liver is doing a lot of work in processing and eliminating toxins, waste products, and so supporting the liver is a very useful and necessary things during cleansing. So you can put over the liver that heap of oil. Get this on quick. This, and then you're laying down. I'm just sitting. So you're laying down in bed usually, or on the floor, yoga mat, something, blanket, whatever's comfortable. And then this is hot. And then put this over here. Now, the reason why I like this kind, as opposed to just a simple like electric heat pad, is because there's a weight to this. And so there is something about having weight that helps the process be even more effective. And also, you know, I have mixed feelings about the EMFs that come off of the electric heating pads. Sometimes there's like microwave ones, but again, I'm not particularly a fan of microwaves and never have one in my house. So this is what I've always worked with and what I use and recommend for my patients. And then you lay there for around 20 minutes. The nice thing also about this is that the heat stays for about the perfect amount of time. You know, it stays hot for between 20 and 30 minutes usually. Okay. So some of the benefits, and I'll review the process right at the end of the video. So some of the benefits is that it increases the circulation and lymphatic flow in anywhere that you're applying it, essentially, but especially in the liver. It penetrates really deeply into the interstitia, into the cells to support detoxification. It has anti-inflammatory effects, and it also reduces scar tissue and fibrosis. So if you can imagine, just it seeps into the tissues and softens and encourages flow. So you can see how that would be really beneficial especially during a cleanse. It's also useful for ovarian cysts and fibroids. Again, with the fibroids, be careful if they're heavy bleeding, then that is something that would be something to work with a physician on specifically. But I do use them for people working with any kind of reproductive imbalances as well. And then you can upgrade this. I have a product that I have made and I make for patients going through preconception and womb healing work, which is a collection of herbs, essential oils, and crystal essences to just increase the healing possibilities. So if anyone's interested in seeing about making their own or would like to look into what I've put into the one I've created, let me know. Right off the bat, just like frankincense essential oil is fantastic. Not too much, just add a little bit, but frankincense itself is one of those panacytopias of like healing benefits. So it's, and then I like to do like clary sage is nice for hormone balancing. So if you do have cycle issues, long, short cycles, painful cycles, clary sage is one of those that really does help with the reproductive balance and is safe. There's be very mindful about what essential oils you would add in, because again, you are adding heat. So if you're curious to add those, you can always put a comment in and ask me, like, can you use this oil? Can you use this oil? The last thing that I will say about this is to add your intention in the process, and that's really what takes it from just being, hugely beneficial physiologic protocol into a like next level mind, body, spirit healing practice and ritual. So as you're massaging, it's like being very present with yourself and noticing how you feel, really tending to any areas that feel tender. And once you have the whole pack ready, laying there and just following the oil, following that healing gift that nature has for us. So the oil seeps through the tissues, goes into the cells, and it has this rich, nice golden color, encourages flow, encourages the vasculature to relax and open, increasing blood flow to the area. It also has this beautiful slight irritant effect on the linings of the digestive tract, which encourages things like parasites or yeast and biofilms to detach and then flow out. So even imagine if it's like you imagine there's a light moving with the oil or whatever it is that makes sense for you, but really that's working with intention is so powerful. And then you can also see perhaps where, when you're in those spaces of letting go, you'll hit those growth edges and areas of resistance to letting go. Because whenever we cleanse, there's this energy and intention of cleansing and releasing. So that which has not been able to be released before will come up. And a lot of times it's thought patterns, emotion, whether there's forgiveness practices that we need to work with ourselves or others, fear, doubt, whatever doesn't really serve us living in our full, prosperous and well way. Okay, well, thank you for listening, and any questions, feel free to ask. So just a quick review: boil water, put it into here. You have your flannel, a towel so you don't burn yourself, castor oil, hexane free, abdominal massage, apply either liver, large intestine, central abdomen, pelvic area, wherever you feel called. Flannel, towel, and heal. All right. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen. And again, any questions, feel free to put a message in here. And yeah, happy healing. Much love.